To our new families, welcome, and to our returning ones, welcome back to Brentwood College School. I'm standing here on the deck of the Ross Building overlooking Mill Bay, and I'm pleased to share with you today our restart plans for the 2021 school year. Since our founding in 1923, our goal has remained the same: to deliver a transformative, on-campus, in-person, face-to-face learning experience. From academics to arts to athletics, Brentwood's tripartite program in a boarding setting continues the legacy of developing students that are both well-rounded and well-grounded. With the support of BC Ministry of Health and the BC Ministry of Education, we have a robust plan that is safe and exceptional. The global pandemic is potentially this generation's greatest challenge, and while certainty is somewhat of a rare commodity these days, we are ready to welcome back our students to their campus. Of course, given the likely changes between now and the start of the school year, please understand this is our plan as of today, June 15th. As our plan evolves, we will communicate major changes to you throughout the summer. I thank you in advance for being flexible, nimble, and supportive so that together we can manage whatever comes our way. In this video, a number of school leaders will share with you some of our restart strategies. Should you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to them directly or to me. Using the guidelines from the BC Centre for Disease Control, there are 6 categories of mitigation that will be used across our campus and our programs. General hygiene, sanitizing spaces and surfaces, physical distancing, engineering controls, administrative controls, and personal protective equipment or PPE. Details can be found in the documents that accompany this video. There will be challenges, and as parents, you need to understand the inherent risks associated with attending Brentwood. The returning parents will know much about our program, and the new ones, very little. Both sets, however, will need to fully understand the new risks and mitigation strategies that COVID-19 presents. I urge you to carefully review our informed consent documents with your child and be sure that as a family, you are both comfortable and confident with our procedures. We know in our hearts that once your child sets foot on this campus here on the shores of Mill Bay, that they will join generations of alum that are proudly Brentonians for life. Enjoy the video.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patel, and welcome parents to the Hope House Common Room, the newest boarding house on our campus, and a fitting location to begin to discuss our return to boarding plan with our parent community. As Mr. Patel has said often this spring, the true magic that Brentwood has to offer occurs when we have our students on our campus, in our classes, on the athletic venues, and pursuing their passions in the arts. We feel that our plan to return to work will look and feel like Brentwood, but it's important to note that for us to be able to return, there's going to be some distinct differences. I'm going to take a few minutes to highlight some of the important changes to our practices for this coming September. Even before our students arrive at campus, the COVID-19 pandemic demands certain changes to our normal school arrival routines. As per the Government of Canada regulations at this time, our international and US students will have to serve a mandatory 14-day quarantine period off campus. Many of you will want to serve this quarantine in British Columbia, traveling together as a family, or perhaps arrange to stay with friends or extended family. However, we realize that some of you will not be able to accompany your child and may need the assistance of the school to facilitate this quarantine period. For these students, we want our families to know that the school will work with you to arrange the quarantine for them off campus at a location with Brentwood staff as chaperones. Along with this mandatory quarantine period for our international and US students, we'll be accepting new and returning students from Canada in a staggered arrival based on the area of Canada you come from, not the traditional arrival of new students first, followed by returning students. International students will arrive first, followed by Canadian borders outside of BC the following day, and finally our BC students will come on the last day prior to our orientation program beginning. A detailed plan outlining the schedule for arrival for these students will be shared in the return to school plan released next week. Now, traditionally, orientation will look a certain way, and it will really be about getting our students up to speed on the normal Brentwood practices. We know that that's going to look a little bit different this year, and the first few days back to school will really be about getting used to our new routines, our traffic patterns, and our hygiene practices. Here's some of the important changes and mitigation strategies to expect this year in the boarding houses. Daily health and symptom checks for students before the school day. Traffic patterns to control crowds on the entrance and exit of buildings. Room arrangements to maximize physical distance, including the reduction of furniture. To reduce density, limit access to each boarding house residence to students only living in that house. To avoid congestion, reschedule routines for washroom use. Avoid large gatherings by grouping house meetings by floor. Increase scheduled cleaning of common areas of houses by our housekeeping staff. And increase access to hand washing spaces and hand sanitizing materials. One thing that won't change is our amazing house parents and assistant house parents who are going to be here to walk you through all the changes this year.
Welcome to Ellis House. Can't wait to see you this fall.
One of our principles of mitigation is going to be lowering density. Wherever possible on campus, this is going to be taking place. So this will impact our day students to begin the year. So let's take a look at what mitigations we have planned for day students. So prior to arrival to school, we expect that day students will be asked to complete a health check at home. Day students will arrive at the Foot Center parking lot and proceed through a thermal imaging camera to check temperatures. No parents or visitors on campus except by appointment with infection control safeguards. Lockers and storage will be provided for day students at the Foot Center to lower density in the boarding houses. We know that these changes will impact our community, but we're also committed to return to our normal practices as soon as the health and safety concerns can be met. I'm now going to pass it on to Deputy Head Cheryl Mertlin, who's going to focus on changes to our academic routines. Take it away, Cheryl.
We've all been hearing it. It's an uncertain time. We're not sure what the situation will be. The Minister of Education in British Columbia has said he wants to see students in schools in September. So how do we plan for academics at Brentwood with so many unanswered questions? We've decided to take a positive approach and plan for what we want, teachers and students in classes, and then look at what we need to do to make it happen. Our classes will be set up so that furniture allows for the recommended distance between students with a reasonable class size depending on the size of the room. Some classrooms are larger spaces, which would allow for more students. Here in Ross 309, for example, 18 desks will fit, while in a smaller room, maybe only 12 will fit. Teachers will be maintaining a physical distance from students, and group work is going to look different as well. We will be relying on technology to assist with collaborative projects. Not that this is new to us, but the fact that we can't have students sitting side by side in close proximity means we have to make some adjustments. We're looking at our timetable as a means to help us with mitigation strategies to decrease density if that's the direction that we get from the Ministry of Education. We could potentially be offering some classes in the evening or some blended classes where a course that lends itself more to an online environment could be scheduled with teacher contact time for support and extra instruction. Where there are restrictions on the number of students in a class at one time, we will take advantage of the flexibility in our day and look to maximize face-to-face interactions, of course, in prioritizing student and staff safety. We're also aware that some students, due to travel or visa restrictions, may not be able to attend starting on the first day. That's why all classes will have an online course management site where teachers will be able to make lessons, resources, and assignments available. We will also be arranging for tutorial times to help support student learning once we understand the needs. In buildings, we're going to look at traffic patterns to see where necessary, arrows will have to be put down to indicate the direction of movement, as many of us have become accustomed to in our shopping outings. Each student will have a personal bottle of hand sanitizer to be used regularly when hand washing isn't available and they've been touching high-touch surfaces. Students will have access to face coverings if desired or required, and when class ends, students will be wiping down their desk and chair surface so it's ready for the next student to enter. When we switched from in-class learning to distance learning in March, we proved that we could do what was necessary to continue to provide meaningful learning opportunities for our students. There's no doubt in our minds that we will continue to do this come September, hopefully with teachers and students in rooms just like this.
Dear parents and guardians, as you know, Brentwood is not Brentwood without its dynamic and diverse arts program. But right now, the aesthetic life on campus has been sadly diminished because your sons and daughters are not in the visual and performing arts studios. The relationship between mentor and student artist is so simpatico. Our teaching artists plant the seeds and nurture. Students develop the skills and confidence to express themselves. In a community of creators, each inspires the other. Please be assured that we will continue to deliver on campus the excellence that hallmarks our arts programs, tempered by health and safety modifications in our teaching areas. Along with the standard mitigation protocols mentioned by Ms. Mertland and Mr. Sullivan, all art studios and facilities will be set up for the appropriately recommended physical distancing, so class density would be modified to meet this expectation, whether that means repositioning easels or how far apart you are in choir or dance or on stage when rehearsing. End-of-class protocols will involve cleaning of equipment, including instruments and materials. For some programming, we may potentially shift classes into the evening if necessary. The arts faculty are so keen to reconnect with students in our state-of-the-art facilities come September. We can only maximize the opportunity for learning if all students are back on campus, and we joyfully anticipate that experience.
Hello, Brentwood. Well, as you can see, I'm standing here in a big, empty gym, beautiful gym. Definitely missing the students, and it's been a challenging term without all of you on the courts, on the fields, and right here in the foot. I will say we are preparing for a positive return to athletics, and we're fortunate enough to have these outstanding facilities with large, flexible spaces that will make a variety of mitigation strategies possible. As a result, if, as we hope, the situation stays the same or continues to improve, then we do anticipate offering a robust selection of athletic activities and offerings. Indeed, we are confident we should be able to offer the majority of our traditional athletic options, though they will likely look a little different when we first start the year. If the current situation does deteriorate, we will be able to quickly pivot to more general fitness sessions in a physically distanced environment with small groups transitioning in and out over the course of a sport afternoon. Along with the general mitigation practices we will have on campus, we will also develop mitigation plans for each and every sport we offer on sport afternoons. Athletics remain an integral part of our tripartite program and student wellness plan. We are looking forward to enabling our student athletes to engage in a safe and fun manner. We'll be releasing more programming information as we get closer to the start of the school year, and of course take guidance from our provincial and local health authorities.
Hi everyone. I wanted to let you know that everyone in the dining hall is really looking forward to having you back. We've been working on some new menu ideas that I think you're really going to like. The food will be as good as always. We're still using as much local BC sustainable products as we can, also Canadian foods as much as possible. We will have a big increase on our cleaning and our sanitization levels. Self-service buffets are not allowed at this point, so things will be a little different in Crooks Hall, and we will have a lot of social distance lineups, stanchions, barriers, that sort of thing, where food services staff will be passing food through to you. You guys won't be able to help yourselves at this point in time, but we will have food services staff on hand to hand you your drinks, your cutlery, your napkins, your meal, and that sort of thing. So we will still, fortunately, we will still have our Sunday brunch almost as normal as we can, and for you guys to enjoy. And the dining hall will have an increased focus on sanitization and reducing our density with our seating with staggered meal times. So we will have one-way flow through the dining hall with separate entrance and exits during meal service. Touch points will be minimized, and all food will be passed to our students, staff, and guests individually and directly from behind barriers. Touchless hand sanitizers will be on hand before entering the lineup and on your way out of the dining hall. We will have staggered meal times to avoid exceeding our maximum allowed occupancy and to keep you moving quickly through the dining hall. Table and chair touch points will be sanitized after each use. And if you like, you can grab your meal to go and enjoy it somewhere on campus or back in your house. Just please remember to compost in the proper bin afterwards. I'm happy to say that McNeil's Cafe will be open. We'll have lots of new specials for you guys to try out. We can't wait to have you guys back. We miss you, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say we miss our students. I've had the pleasure to get to know many of you parents over the years, and your children and their care and safety, you will know, is very important to me and our team. Please rest assured, as we look forward to the return to school in the fall, our health center has a complement of health services and immediate on-site response protocols. These processes have been tested during the 2003 SARS and the 2009 H1N1 outbreaks. We have experience successfully managing these serious outbreaks. As you know, our campus has a large boarding population, and we must be vigilant in our response. There are a number of protocols we will be putting in place to ensure the safety of our students, staff, parents, and the local community. We have created a COVID-19 pandemic plan that includes daily health checks, protocols for symptomatic students, including testing and contact tracing, immediate communication with parents and health authorities, creating staffed quarantine wards for potential 14-day self-isolation, and clear protocols for students to return to regular activities. This plan will be made available for all students and parents to review. We are now and will continue to work with our local medical public health officer. We will continue to provide ongoing education regarding the prevention, diagnosis, and management of COVID-19, and we will ensure health center staff to have access to PPE. The goals of these protocols ultimately is to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus through our community and ensure the wellness of students and staff. We will continue to work with our health partners to develop and evolve our planning throughout the course of the pandemic. And we are confident we are able to care, as we always have, for our students. We miss them and look forward to seeing them in the fall.
I thank our leaders for taking you through some of our spaces and mitigation strategies. The past few months have tested our resolve and our character. And while not perfect, together we successfully navigated some tricky waters and did it in true Brentwood fashion, with grit and with joy. I thank you for your belief in Brentwood College School.